Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. I know who your parents are. You wouldn't be doing this if Nixon was still in office. If you get that reference, boy, are you on the right channel. Hey guys, Dave from the Wee Hours here, finally answering the question that 2 or 3 people have asked me. How does an old-timer like you do this YouTube gaming channel nonsense? How do you create this? How do you put this all together? Trying to compete desperately with the kids these days and their TikToks and their MySpace. How does an old guy like you do this YouTube gaming channel day after day? You didn't ask, but I'm going to answer. First obvious question is, what game is going up on the channel? It really all begins there. There's 7 days in the week. We're doing 7 videos a week. That is a limited amount of games that can be up at any given point. As of this recording, I have well over 500 games in my Steam library. At least 475 of them could theoretically have a spot on the channel. So I have to ask myself an important question. Do I want to play it? And does somebody want to watch it? It's got to meet both of those criteria. I've got to have a good time playing it. If I'm not going to give you a quality product. Somebody has to want to watch this. I don't want to put out a video and get 3 views on it, because that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't help you. If I don't want to play it and you don't want to watch it, it doesn't deserve to be here. So when you're asking, hey Dave, why don't you play Among Us or Call of Duty or Fortnite? Is Fortnite still a thing? I don't think Fortnite's still a thing. Why aren't you playing the latest, greatest game that everyone on the planet is playing? It's probably because I don't want to play it. And if you're asking, hey Dave, why aren't you playing this 20-year-old game that we know for a fact you've loved because you've talked about it so passionately before, it's probably because nobody wants to watch it. So we try to find that happy medium. I want to play it. You want to watch it. Now that we've answered that all-important question, we can actually sit down and record the video. So here's how my day goes. I work generally early afternoon into the evening, so my mornings are free. Mornings is channel time. I get up around 6 and start working on the channel. Usually I'm going to start by editing because I've got a solid hour or hour and a half before Mrs. Dave wakes up. And editing is a fairly quiet process that I can do without bothering her, waking her up, or annoying her more than I usually do on a day-to-day basis. So when Mrs. Dave gets up and goes to work, then the house is empty and I start recording. I try to do as much in advance as possible, have sort of a backlog ready to go, bulk record, if you will. If I'm doing games that are part of an established series, something that's been going on for a while, those videos are going to move fairly quickly. I might be able to get 2, maybe even 3 videos recorded before I got to wrap things up and go to work. If I'm doing a one-off, that's a whole different story. Now, I may have test-driven that one-off. I may have fired it up a few nights before and taken it out for a bit of a spin, trying to figure out how the game works, but often I'm not going to know what I'm doing. I'm clicking around tabs randomly, trying to find the thing that I need to make the thing do that I want it to do, and then at the same time trying to make it as best as is humanly possible, vaguely entertaining to you guys. So one-offs take quite a bit longer as I'm learning the game, going along and trying to do something with it. Those I might only get maybe 1 recorded in a morning. There's going to be long stretches where I'm doing nothing at all except fumbling around the game controls, trying to figure out the next step. That actually brings us right up to an important question when we're talking about this, a question of time. No, I don't mean the Depeche Mode song, as awesome as that song is. I mean, come on, Black Celebration is an amazing album. No, I mean time in terms of how much am I playing the game versus how much actual usable footage do I get out of it to put up as a video. Sim Airport here is a classic example. There were long stretches of Sim Airport where I was just letting the game run, accumulating money, so we would have money to do the next thing in Sim Airport. And of course, you guys saw none of that. That all got edited out, but it's something I have to factor in when games are running on the channel. Is this game effectively taking my PC hostage, where I am letting this run for hours and hours and hours, thus denying me the opportunity to record other videos? Yeah, Parkitect, I'm looking squarely in your direction. We all know you were the big culprit of this. Parkitect, I left the house. I ran errands. I got lunch while Parkitect was running. There was one Parkitect video where I did 5 hours of letting the game run to get a 20 to 30 minute video. So something like that, I'm not going to be able to sustain that over the long term. There's a point where that has to come to an end because it's tying up time that I could be using to record other videos. So do I want to play the game? Do you want to watch the game? Can I get the game recorded in what I feel is a reasonable period of time? That's the first part of the equation. The next part is strictly technical and frankly rather boring, but I'll let you know anyway. Right now I'm using Bandicam to record. I like it because it has one-touch recording. I hit one key and everything is recording. The game, the audio, the microphone, everything is happening all at once. I don't feel like I have to learn the piano to get the thing to start. I hit one key, done. Do I have any particular strong opinions about Bandicam? No. I've used other software in the past. I didn't have any particular strong opinions about those either. So long as it works and it does what I want to do, those are my only requirements. Now, when it does record, it does go into 3 separate files. So the game video goes into one file, the game audio goes into another file, and the microphone audio goes into a separate third file. That's so I can clean them all up later in Audacity when we go through the editing process. Everything is nicely separated, but to record it, I only had to press one key. Coming back to time, unless it is a sim game like Sim Airport or Parkitect or something like that, I am generally going to record for, I'm going to say, about an hour-ish. 50 to 60 minutes is usually what I'm going to record to get what is eventually going to be a 20 to 30 minute video out of it. There might be long spaces where I say nothing at all. I do somewhat pre-edit while I'm recording, so I have a plan in my head of I am going to say this, and then I am going to stop speaking, and then I'm going to say something else. So there's long stretches where I'm not saying anything at all. I might be fidgeting with the game, I might be just letting it run for a little bit, or I might be thinking of the next vaguely entertaining thing I might like to say. And then, of course, there's the flat-out mistakes. I may fumble, I may trip over my words, I may just completely forget how to speak English that day. Those are going to get cut out, obviously. That I've got my own little trick for. When I fumble, when I stumble, when I do something horribly, horribly stupid verbally, I click my fingers in front of the microphone. Just like that. That's going to set up a really clear wave pattern that I can spot in editing. I can go through the audio and go, aha! Somewhere there, I made a mistake. I should pay special attention to that part, make sure I clip out that mistake. That little trick alone saves me a ton of time in editing. I wish I'd figured that out a few years ago. Easily spot mistakes, easily spot errors. Doesn't mean some don't sneak through occasionally. I've had some viewers pop up and go, hey, did you know that you left this horrible mistake in your video? I'm like, nope, I didn't. I'll go through, re-edit that, repost that. But it does help a lot. Speaking of editing, when the recording's done, I've got 3 separate files to deal with. 2 audio, 1 video. The microphone audio is going to get run through Audacity a couple of times. Take out the background noise, normalize it, clean it up, try and make it as good as it can possibly be. The game recording audio is going to stay exactly as it is. There's no reason to mess with that at all. It's exactly what I want it to be. The video recording is going to get shoved through Handbrake, where I record such long chunks of time. I often have a problem with videos desyncing with the audio. Handbrake cleans that up a treat. Run it through there. Don't know how it works. May as well be sorcery as far as I'm concerned. But it tightens everything up so I don't have to manually sync everything back up while I'm putting the video together. Then I'm going to actually knit the whole thing together. As I say, I get up around 6 and start editing. So for a 20 to 30 minute video, it may take me roughly an hour to cut everything up, put it all together. If I feel like it and I feel it's appropriate, maybe add in a few little pop-ups or something I feel is vaguely amusing. I try to keep that to a bare minimum, but sometimes the mood takes me and I want to throw up the Picard facepalm or Adrian Monk. He's always been a favorite around the channel here. And then when all that's done, we set it to render. So rendering, knitting it all together, that's going to take a little bit of time, not too much. That's usually when I start working on the thumbnail for this. Now, Thumbnails have always been my weakness. I know I could be doing a lot better with that. There is an attention span that I suffer when I'm doing those, where I say, you know what, this'll work, let's put this up. I do the very, very best that I can, but I know I could be putting way more effort into them than I actually am. But that's what's happening while the video is rendering. I'm going through Photoshop. Usually I've clipped out a screenshot while I was editing that I'm going to put up there, put the title on it, slap my little logo thingamajiggy on it, and call it a day. Usually by the time I finish the thumbnail, the rendering is done, so then I can save and export the video and get it all packaged up, ready to go out on the old YouTubes. That's going to take a while. That's when I'm going to walk away, maybe get another cup of coffee, have a snack, something like that. Come back later when it's done. And when it is done, and believe me, this is a lesson I had to learn the hard way, I copy it and back it up and put it in another file. So there's always 2 copies of the video somewhere, just in case something goes horribly, horribly wrong, which, P.S., it has. I've got a backup. I've got an extra file somewhere that I can pull. And then eventually, when I got enough of those, all of those backup ones gets transferred to a separate hard drive that I can stash in my desk, just in case I ever needed to go back to them later. There's always backups. In a push, if I desperately had to, I could recreate the entire channel. All the video files are there somewhere if I just go and find them. Now that the video's all packaged up and ready to go, then I've got to upload it. That's another thing I can kind of walk away from. If I'm doing a series video, that's usually very, very easy to do because I can copy and paste all of the settings and descriptions and tags and all of that from one video to the other. If I'm doing a one-off, that's going to take me a little longer to do. I'm going to have to put in new tags. I'm going to have to write new descriptions for things. It's going to chew up a little bit of time, but everything's ready to go. Everything's ready to be uploaded, and then I just got to figure out when it's going to happen. With series videos, usually they're going up once a week. If something is new on the channel or doing particularly well and is particularly popular, it might get 2 shots a week. Hey, if it's going super good, maybe even 3. But I like to keep as much variety up on the channel as I can. I have always been, for better or worse, a variety gaming channel. So I want to keep as many different games going on a weekly basis as I can. And as much as humanly possible, and given my own limitations, which are, believe me, extensive, I try to keep to a somewhat regular schedule, so you should largely see that game that you like up on the same day. Now, that is subject to change frequently. Hey, maybe I just didn't get a chance to record that particular video this week, or maybe something is doing really, really well, and I want to bump that video in favor of something else. But more or less, I'm going to say 67 to 69% of the time, the video that you're looking for should be up on the same day every single week. And then I've just got to start all over again. YouTube is a voracious beast. It always wants more and more and more, and I want to give it more and more and more. I love doing this. This is so much fun. Even though I may be a tiny, insignificant speck on the YouTube cosmos, I would not change a thing. I love my tiny little corner of the internet, and I want to keep giving it more and more and more. So as soon as that video is uploaded, I'm looking to the next one. What do I do next? I did 1 for that series. Great. Let's do 2 or 3. Let's record those in advance, and we'll be ahead of the game. Ahead of the game. I say that to myself every week. Aha, I've got a few of next week's videos already up. I'm ahead of the game. And then all of a sudden it's next week and I'm behind the game again. All of that done, everything recorded, everything edited, everything uploaded. You guys are out there watching it, hopefully being mildly entertained by it. Well, all I gotta do then is kick back on the couch and let that sweet, sweet YouTube ad money roll right into the door. And let me just close out with this. I love what I do here every single day. It is a huge joy in my life. It is hard work. It is very, very long hours. It is often frustrating and sometimes disappointing, but I wouldn't change a thing. I wake up every single morning excited to work on this channel, and that's a great feeling. There you go, guys. There's a little behind the scenes, a little fourth wall break, a little what does Dave do with his day, a little how does a cranky old guy do a YouTube gaming channel in 2021. If you enjoyed it, hey, maybe leave a like down below, maybe even a comment. I usually comment back. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. I'm just going to keep shooting Hildegard until she goes away, which is my response to most nuns, really. Pablo here is looking for a little favor, little financial favor from El Devo Magnifico. Robot, how do we rescue you? I don't know how to rescue you. I'm also not sure I ever knew you were a woman. You can't just get a pufferfish on the open market. Like, I can't go down to the grocery store and order me up a slice of pufferfish. So I can only assume that it somehow, there's some sort of underground pufferfish market that you would acquire one of these from. So I'm immediately, here's where my brain goes. Here's what happens, Pedge. I immediately am seeing your friend in a shadowy black trench coat and a fedora in a dark dock somewhere, like way down in London Docklands, hastily trading crumpled British pound notes for a dead pufferfish, and then taking it home, slicing its ears off because apparently it's deaf, putting a hat on it, putting some googly eyes on it, and popping it in the mail to you.